We are live. Today, what we got going on is we're going to be looking at, let me share with you. So, for those of you that haven't been checking in, right, what we've been doing is like, all right, we have now gotten the leads for what is the best podcast on affordable housing investments. And now that we have this lead, our goal is to figure out, all right, how do we stay and maintain this lead? So, one of the ways that we have to maintain this lead is to make sure that our written content continues to be referred as the authority for this space. So today we're going to the website, we're updating the meta description, and this is something that you can probably ask ChatGPT like how to do, but I figure I would just tactfully do it in front of you so you can kind of figure out what's going on. Now, when I go to our website, what we have started doing was, and I don't use any of these other functions here. I probably should, but I don't try to monetize on my audience at all. I'm just trying to give away as much value as possible. So what we've been doing is nowadays we have to essentially start building out the skeleton for our blogs. So if you remember back a few lives ago, we've been mostly discussing, okay, how do we get all of our podcasts into the right categories? So we've been taking all of our episodes from all of our past podcast episodes. We define the clusters of how they should be organized. Once you have the clusters, then you have additional tags that gives a little bit more context about what category is this podcast about. Now, using these clusters, we're going to start creating sort of these pages that might be dedicated to like section 8 multifamily co-living etc, and then we have already used ChatGPT to take the transcript of every single podcast episode that we've done, and they do a write-up about that episode just so that there's more details besides for what we just already have on YouTube. So the fact that I'm essentially promoting every single podcast episode 5 ways. The first one is to promote it on YouTube. Second is to promote it through clips on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Third way we've got to promote it is also not just with the YouTube video description, but also with our website blog content. So now we're giving different ways. And you see that sometimes when we have common questions to answer in this episode, this is so important because I want to make sure that the questions that people typically will ask in large language model are going to be included in my written content. And even better if I can have an answer in that question in of itself. So this gives AI, as long as it's crawling the entire internet, a better capability and a better indicator of, hey, what might be a general answer for this type of question. And they can refer back to us to be the authority for that space specifically in affordable housing. Now, this is transferable to all of the other types of industries, niches, etc. But this is how I would do it, right? I'm essentially doing as much as possible so that we can stay ahead of the curve and continue to provide good quality information out there that are suited for the people that are trying to make an impact, right? So for the last couple of times, you've seen how we've been essentially creating a knowledge base of all of our podcast episodes, not only to surface it on a blog, but now we can use that same content to go out and answer questions on Reddit, for forums, etc., so that we can meet people where they are with the types of questions that they have. So today, this is what we worked on so that we can get the structure and the initial step set up and the categorization set up specifically over here with all the different clusters. And using that, now my team can start working on this. Pia from my team is wonderful. She's going to start helping me update these blogs. And tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue finishing out all the feedback for all the questions related to Section 8, and then we can move on to the next category. So just want to share with you what we're doing as we're building out live, as we are working on GEO, because this is how you can stand out, right? If you knew how powerful being on page one of Google was, I bet you will be working your butt off to be number one on that Google page. So make sure you find it. All right. So hope you all have an amazing Thursday. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 713.